What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni, and do you even shock train, bro? We're rocking the shock train 4 times here, Mark 3 maxed with shield break on the Typhon. And yeah, I want to show you how 0 damage looks like. It sounds like an interesting intro with a lot of energy and fun gameplay, and there will be fun gameplay, but we will not dominate the game this time, okay? Because the shock train simply won't allow it. Let's be honest, in this video I'm not gonna show you the best gameplay. I rather show you a weapon in a failed status, because this is a weapon that requires an immense amount of reloading. It spends so much time loading, yeah? And I'm even having the 30% faster recharge with the Power Man skill as a pilot skill. And it still takes forever to fill up this shock train charge. And even though we're fully charged, the damage is okay. But that's what, for example, the DK weapon category does in one shot, right? And they recharge instantly and they're ready to go. And they don't have a lock on. And they don't have 500 but 600 meters range. There are many ways in which I can show you in this video, ladies and gentlemen, that this weapon is a complete fail now. It could technically still be fun, especially with a chain, but the weapon simply performs this awful. Look, I activated shield break, and I fired slightly later my shot. Somehow the shield break hasn't taken effect yet. So that was a complete shot wasted, unfortunately. And that means like, what, 15 seconds charge time. How long does it charge? It might be somewhere around like 12 to 15 seconds or so for a single shot that deals no damage against yellow shields, no damage against physical shields, and even if it does hit, it does just okay damage per hit, yeah? But you can't really do damage with this setup. Despite that, this match here was one of the best ones, and I want to show you a decent job that I was able to do. Of course, I'm like locked and slowed down like 60% of the playtime, because this is War Robots now. You are slowed down by battleships that are not counterable slowing fields nearly all the time. And if you're not locked, then you're suppressed, or if you're not slowed, then you're locked. Here, I killed an angler robot who was not expecting it. That was a pretty good moment there. What I was gonna say with the previous thing, I think these slowing fields are way too over-dominant and taking too much room in the game. But here, look at this. We're firing at a Fenrir, yeah? It's a tanky robot, I understand that. But at this point, I must say that any light weapon that we are currently seeing in the game, Spear or Magnetar or probably even Quaker, would heavily outperform the performance of the shock train, and the shock train is a medium weapon. It should do really well in terms of damage. But ever since back in the old days when the shock train was really meta and it was really overpowered, back then I so hated it because it was just the most overpowered thing in the world with the Spectre shock train back then. Robots didn't have so much HP, they didn't have resistance or so, or not as much, and you would just one-hit kill an enemy Spectre with one of these shots, and yeah, it was happening all the time. By the way, I got slowed, now I'm locked. After the lockdown, I'm again slowed by a slowing field, and for the better part of 20 seconds, I have been unable to move my robot completely. Pixonic, this is frustrating. You shouldn't be unable to move your robot for 15 or 20 seconds in a row. That is basically an Alt F4 instant rage quit moment. It's nonsense. If I get locked or slowed down once, it should prevent any type of slowing or lockdown for the next 20 seconds. I don't care if it was a lockdown, if it was a slowing field, it doesn't matter. After being slowed, I cannot be slowed again or locked and then exchanging the slowing for a lockdown, which is then again replaced by another slowing field right after, resulting you in basically being AFK in the game. It's nonsense. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. That was a little mini rage because it really annoys me very greatly, these slowing that happens all the time. It's just But shock train number 1 match, we did well, we did 4.2 million damage, but I think like 2 million or 2.5 million probably was only with this short Titan moment in between, because we killed 3 Titans in this like 1 minute, okay? Anyways, pop, next situation, right? Here we have a Mk3 who takes a big hit, and it is, don't get me wrong, the shock train really deals a good amount of damage per this one hit. The problem just is that you have a lock on. The range of 500 meters is not really meta anymore, although 500 meters would be a good amount of range, but now things typically have more, right? The recharge is insane. The fact that you have to destroy any type of shield before you can start dealing damage, the lock on, it's just overall a badly performing weapon with one of the lowest damage per minute ratings of all the weapons in the game. At this point, I believe that the Molots greatly outperform the shock train in terms of damage output, and you're like helpless. When you get attacked like I do here from a scorpion or so, I'm dodging him like a boss. I'm like walking backwards around him. I'm trying to avoid and go on sidestepping direction changes so that the guy misses like 90% of his shots, but he still almost killed me. Yeah, you're really helpless with these weapons. If I was alone here, I would have died 5 times now, right? Thankfully, I had support from my team. And I think, although there was a really bad overpowered shock train meta back in the days, it doesn't mean that the shock train has to be completely worthless now, right? I think we really need to see the shock train receive a heavy buff, an immense buff, in fact, one that is really a game changer for this weapon. It could be 50-60% better, and it would not be an overpowered weapon at this point, seriously. I would work on the recharge maybe, and I would scratch the lock on. Make it an aiming feature similar to what Sting has. Sting, the light weapon, right? It has an auto aim without locking on. Give this to the shock train and improve the recharge by 50% or so, and then maybe you'll see it sometimes in the game. But right now it's really not attractive. I wanted to show you a good moment though here. That's why I stopped. See, this is a harpy. Yeah, it's a harpy. And I see that he's now teleporting back, right? He becomes translucent, transparent. He's becoming transparent, and I realize he's just teleporting back. And he has heavy resistance when he's flying, but as soon as he presses the button to teleport back, he loses all his resistance. And in that very moment, before he teleports back, you can connect a shot. And that's where the shock train shines, because it does all its damage in a split second. So this is something good that the shock train can do. Look, he's disappearing, he's almost gone. I realize, pop! I give him one shot, it connected with him technically before he disappeared. Look at his health, and whoosh! Down to 30%. That was a really good shock train moment, and I was a little proud of myself to pull it off, because it's really hard to see, you know, when he teleports back. This becoming transparent before he disappears is very hard to detect with your eyes. Even when you're using a larger screen, it's still difficult, and I would imagine on the phone it's impossible to do. Yeah, so I was able to do it, and I was a little proud of myself. By the way, the shock train still has the problem of losing shots to nowhere. Here it is. It's a very old bug, Pixonic, and it's still in the game. I don't know why. Why have you never... I understand nobody buys Shock Train anymore because they suck, but if you would make them interesting again, maybe people would be interested in them, and then there would be a reason to fix a problem that has been in the game for so long. Look at this. First shot, I fire... Every time I fire at shields, I fire in sequence, because if I shot all 4 at once, I don't do any damage to him, but with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 take down the shield, 3 and 4 will deal damage to him. So, look. Bop, bop, bop. Okay, and then number 4, pop. See this? Number 4 goes to nail bump over there. It makes no sense because I'm not even having him targeted. But this happens more often than you think with this weapon, which just makes it even less effective than it already is. Alright, here we are next to another Typhon. My Typhon buddy next to me has 4 times the hazard, yeah? This guy. 4 times hazard. An more up-to-date weapon with immense damage output and 600 meters range and no lock-on and yada yada yada. Okay, you get what I mean. Look how useless I look next to him by comparison. It's like you could probably put 10 Mannis right here, all with these shock trains, all fully charged, and we would just do as much as this one guy behind me with his 4 DKs or hazard or whatever he's using. I don't remember DK or hazard. So tell me that this weapon is nicely dialed in. Tell me that this weapon is nicely dialed in. I can't even get through the shield on any of those robots. Somehow I caught myself even a weird lockdown, which wasn't supposed to happen. Here I'm getting shot by the enemy with his DK, Hazard, or Blight. I think Blight is the small one, yeah? So yeah, he's hitting me outside my weapons range, so the range is inferior. The damage output per minute is like non-existent compared to other weapons. You have to deal with a stupid lock-on mechanic that shouldn't even exist in the game. I keep saying this. Lock-on should be non-existent in the game. It's a matter of the past. All weapons suffering, and I really use the word suffering from lock-on, are simply outdated, and Pixonic has no interest in making them better. The first thing that needs to happen, like right now or yesterday, is to scratch the entire lock-on mechanic altogether. There's no reason for any of it, not even on the Titan weapons. Cataclysm, Cyclone, yeah? What do you need lock-on for those? Those weapons suck compared to any of the upcoming, the more relevant weapons. So why can't you just scratch the entire lock-on altogether? Just remove it. Take it out tomorrow. Why not? Tell me why not? There's no reason not to take it out like instantly. The entire lock-on, scratch it completely from War Robots. It has no place in the game. Meanwhile, I'm showing you here the weakness again from SHOCKTRAIN is I cannot deal any damage. I think in this entire match I haven't done a single damage point because my robot enemies all have yellow shields and I can't even go through those freaking yellow shields. It's impossible. Weapon is really, really bad. And here I'm doing a quad shot, like 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 shots fired after another. And with all 4 shots, I did 5% or 3% damage to him. Judging by this, and by the damage I should be doing, I can calculate that this Taurus player must have around 2.5 million HP on his Imugi. Yeah? Right? Right? It's normal, yeah? That he has this much. No, it's not normal. It means there's a hitbox problem or a shot connecting problem that basically just ruined 90% of my firepower. A shot that has a lock-on, that has terrible damage output per minute, and recharges forever. And this shot deals nothing because there's a problem. Sorry, you're not doing damage this time. Maybe next time, load up next 12 seconds and try again. But oh, wait a minute, this guy has up-to-date weapons and my shield don't work against him and pop, there I go. Bye. Yeah, this is basically SHOCKTRAIN experience in a nutshell playing the game right now. So today I made a video where I couldn't show you me rocking the boat and killing everything. This time I showed you a video where I got absolutely destroyed. Because this weapon simply performs amazingly bad. It is one of the worst performing weapons in the game. And yeah, it's sad. Do what I suggested. Scratch lock-on, also on Bulavakistan, Cataclysm Cyclone, all lock-on weapons, Zeus, SHOCKTRAIN or whatever it might be, scratch it all together, make it like the Sting weapon. Obviously you have this firing, targeting mechanic in the game because Sting shows that it's there. Use this mechanic for all these weapons. And now these weapons that are all of them bad compared to what's even just halfway up to date, will be at least a little, tiny bit more relevant. And then yeah, I think you should probably work on the recharge rate on this weapon. I have a suggestion in this case. 13 minutes, I think I can put it into the video here. I can show it right here, anywhere. Take a, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it on screen. Here, on the bottom right corner, the reload, okay? There is an artificial 3 or 4 second time before it even starts to generate firepower. And this is also a really big problem. I would scratch that as well, Pixonic, because, look, I know why it was implemented. It was implemented because SHOCKTRAIN was so damn dominant and overpowered back then. But clearly, this is gone, yeah? And we need this weapon in a little bit more of an up-to-date state. Look at what happens after I fire at him, okay? Pop, okay? I'm not regenerating, not regenerating, not regenerating, not regenerating, not regenerating. After these 3 seconds, the weapon basically begins to recharge. I would scratch that completely as well. And this is just one weapon. I could go on, make videos like this about 70% of the weapons we have in the game, because as a matter of fact, only the top 8 weapons, yeah, are really, really good enough to use. And when I say 8 weapons or 7 weapons, it's like I'm speaking categories. Like a flamethrower would be one category, even though it has Blaze, Ember, and Igniter in there, you know? This would be one weapon category that's not really up to date and not really relevant anymore. But you can do, in short range, good damage with it, but it's very hard to control. The flames travel too slow and not up to date. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, enough blah blah blah. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one and see you in the next video. Manni signing off with an awful Shock Train performance. Bye bye.